Yo, 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 what's happening, guys? METAVERSEMILLEN here. How are you all today? We're about another video. We're currently in LA right now, looking through the map. So what's been happening, I've basically moved my home address over to Hyde Park as well. Obviously, they was having the competition with the minting out, so congratulations to Hyde Park. Moved the address over now, so I've purchased a property earlier on today. If I go over to it right now, it's down here, I believe. So I need to put the thing on unfamiliar territory. We're going, here we go, down here, and then I've got this address over here. So now I've got this structure, townhouse, and this address here at 4509 10th Ave as well. So yeah, congratulations. That was good fun to see everybody like kind of support them in and out of both nodes, and that it was just good fun, really exciting to be a part of like the property side of it, like these markets, like driving that demand up on structures. Like the main thing, like that's what I love about Upland. It's always been the property, always been like the community. This node, Granada Hills, like we have plans just to continue going forward. If anything, we'll kind of put all our resources and all our spark into Granada Hills moving forward. The more stuff what starts to come out, the more we'll just kind of like focus in on the property in that aspect. I was looking at the account now, we're coming up to 20.3 million, which is amazing. I'm coming up to like 30,000 Spark. I was thinking about basically pushing my Spark up to about 50,000 Sparklet at the end of the month on payday. That'll probably cost about, what, $600 to get about 14, 15, maybe 16 at the moment. If the price continues to go down a little bit, we'll be able to pick up a bit more. But yeah, probably to push this up to 50,000 and then just leave the Sparklet there. One thing I was thinking about in the future, like when I joined Upland, I loved the property side of the game. Now Sparklet's on an exchange, the price is going to go up and down based on people buying and selling it. I'm just not wanting that as a kind of. That's what I love UPX. So what my idea now is just to hold 50,000, then I can like supply these assets. I can also build more structures in Upland, and then I'll just continue to hold that 50,000 forever in the account, and then I can basically use that Sparklet. If the price of Sparklet goes up, I just get like the value of the properties in the game will go up obviously with that. So yeah, I'm just worried that if I invest a lot into Sparklet, I'm building a lot of structures, and then someone sells a lot of Sparklet off on an exchange, then all the value of those structures and like the business plan, like I want to be able to control. If I do bad, the business doesn't make as much. If I do well, I make a little bit more kind of idea. I can't put in a lot of money based on something what's fluctuating based on outside like kind of factors in a way. And that's a bit what puts me off it. That's what I love about UpX, how it's tied to the dollar. And yeah, like if it scares me, like putting money into something where you don't know like the growth and the growth's not steady. Like that's what I see Upland as the main appeal to like 90%, like the majority of the audience are people what have like full-time jobs. Like the average age is probably 30, mid 30s. Like a lot of players, like really clever players, what have got businesses, what have got like kind of that drive to be an entrepreneur. Maybe this is like them dabbling in virtual property. You can sign up with an email and a password. It's so straightforward. You can target so many players with that property side of it. You look at something like Atlas Earth, and then you see like you've got the map, you can see where you are, the location, but it's kind of just it's a one trick pony. Upland's got so much more, like kind of with the Spark. Like before, you just had Spark in game. You could have just put that onto an in-game market where you could buy and sell like Spark, just like you would a property or something else like an asset in game. I think that would be awesome if you had to have a meta venture and then you could sell like a 0.01 of a spark, like or zero point 0.1 of a spark or whatever it was, and then you could list a price and then there was a tax on that, so Upland made money as well. I just see like it staying in game was really. That's where I seen like kind of the growth. I knew that I was paying that 460 every single month, but that value would go up based on like the demand, not kind of the supply going up and down. That makes sense. Yeah, it's very hard going forward. Like, it's not financial advice, but I'd never promote something. I'm going to be completely honest with my opinions. Yeah, this is like about 50,000. I think it's a good point now instead of the 100,000. And then I can basically just build structures. But now it's like now you're just basically waiting for like yeah, I just don't like it that way. I like my UPEX being my UPEX as a stationary token. I don't want it to be on like a market. I wish it wasn't like turned into a crypto token, if all honesty. I wish it was like in game where you could trade it between player and player, and then Upland could take the tax on it. I think the value would be a lot higher, and then also the structures would hold a lot more value right now. Obviously, you've got layer twos coming online next world, like the Spark Tycoon, all these other good stuff like next Q1, Q2. I hopefully add lots of like value to Spark and the price of Sparklet kind of idea. I just don't see it as like coming into the game. Like I like kind of gone from working 100 hours to working about 60 hours. I loved how I could jump on, check my portfolio, see how Granada Hills is doing, and like move the portfolio up. There was nothing like what Upland was doing like compared to Atlas Earth and all these other games. Like it was like Upland had so much substance. It was like kind of pure like wine. It was like there was so much going for it. It was well more than a property trading game. It was like the best thing I've ever like seen. Like I'm not into like downloading loads of apps and games, and the ones I do I play for like 30 seconds. But with Upland, I've seen the value where you can sell your properties for dollars. I've seen in the future maybe you'll be able to sell them for like different cryptocurrencies, like if you wanted to. And like I totally understand all that, but the fact that now Sparklet's gone into a kind of a token, well, a currency, and now it's going to get traded out to like external. Like that's just if someone comes in and wants to sell $20,000, then all my properties, my business strategies, like completely changed overnight based on someone else like on the market. So that's what I see. I see if the price of Sparklet goes up, if it costs more to rent Sparklet out, the properties sell for more. Kind of like when Tycoon, like everybody was building to try and get more nodes to sell that energy for 1,000 UPEX. That demand, that drive, kind of creeped up. Apartment buildings were selling for $40 easy all day. Like the price was about $50 at one point, so $40 that was just flying off the shelf. And I do see layer twos and stuff like really adding utility. And I love that drive. I just wish like Spark was stationary, so when the layer twos came on, you could see like the growth based on like Upland and like how the community and the layer twos was providing value, and that's the way I like kind of looked at it, not at like it going up and down based on. It could go up like like yes, if it shoots up, you're making loads of money, but that's not. I'm not wanting that kind of uncertainty or like that's not what like that's a gamble to me. I want to like build a virtual business portfolio and I want to like stick into like kind of flat dollars. Like I love dollars. Like I'm British, but I'm like I'm feel safe using your currency. Like dollars is something that I'm feel very comfortable with. And there's a lot of players like myself what come in what have like full-time jobs what love the property side of it. Like I was going through the property with other players and stuff, or like people I want to try and get involved with Upland, and they understand the property side. It like they like the face lights up, and then as soon as you say about like metaverse or like the crypto side or all this kind of stuff, you just see like the complete conversation change, and that's my worry going forward. Like, is it becoming too far away from like the property trading game now, and like this crypto is not like to a small niche of players it's amazing, but for the mass audience is it kind of it's something like maybe it's not good to be tied with Upland. Like that's just more of my opinion, but yeah, like crypto to the normal person, it doesn't go down like that niche is very small. And like I love it. I understand Bitcoin. If I wanted to invest into like that, like based on it going up, and I'd go onto an exchange and do that. The reason I came to Upland is because I wanted to add time and value to like a node, a project. I find that side of it really exciting. I don't want someone else to determine how much my structures sell for. I want the whole community and the market to be like there in game. And that's just the way I see it. So that's why I like UpX, and that's why I'm probably going more towards UpX now. So yeah, we'll get this up to 50,000, but then we'll probably put in a lot more into the monthly yield. Because I like being able to convert the yield into dollars, knowing that I've got that strategy in the future. Like players, like you need players to put in a lot of money to actually like new players to come in this game. But if there's no like reason or no way to exit in the future, players won't come in. That's why that City Lock was so good, and that vote going yes, because it's going to help with the supply and demand. Like you can't keep going on choking the system with that much supply. Like obviously the player base has gone down now. We need to balance that out. It would have took 3 years to get to where the point where the city lock's basically going to provide now. So that difference, like, would it still be standing in 3 years compared to now? So yeah, something had to be done with the supply and demand, and that's one thing I'm really bullish on. Like Upland's created the best property virtual trading game. Like that's what I think they should like promote and advertise and like push. Like not metaverse, not crypto. Like property virtual trading game. It's the best game there is out there. It's like you can do so much with it. Even with the cafes, with the transport, you can add so much onto it. But like if it's advertised as a property virtual trading game, where you can like exit with sell property with real dollars, like with I can get my money within like 30 seconds into my bank account. Like that's amazing. That to me as a player what just works a normal job and comes into the game wanting to like see where I can put a little bit of money and chat to this amazing community and grow. Like I want it to be simple enough that I understand it. Monopoly, it makes sense. Like being able to like tie a Tilia to the account makes sense. I understand it, kind of like PayPal. Understand it, like the basics, like most people understand. Once you start adding like wallets and different crypto, and like it makes a lot of people question if they want to start it. Like I'd never join Decentraland, I'd never join the Sandbox. I'd like those kind of games don't make sense to me at all. And especially now that like your money's based on like how the crypto token does is just that's very off putting to me and I wouldn't put a penny into that. I put all my money into the markets based on knowing like the supply and demand, like these properties will be worth a certain amount in the future. Like Granada Hills, like now we've got the lock, we can grow that floor, we can really support players what have like supported Granada Hills years ago, and like those markets can start to go up nicely. I just feel like with the property side of it is where like Upland strives, and I just after watching a few like you don't really hear the metaverse anymore, like and then with the crypto stuff, it's just like I don't know. It's to me, it's like what's the word? Like you're eliminating like 95% of your audience because you just mention it as crypto. If you like just stayed as like a game where you can log in with an email and a password and just buy properties for dollars or like the in-game token UpX, like it's so simple. Like my dad understands it, like family understand it. It makes sense just like other games, but then they're excited because you can like take dollars out. That's like mind blowing to a lot of people. But then once you start getting so like it's this and it's this and it's like you don't know what it is anymore. Like the metaverse is I believe in like shelves in the showroom where you can walk in and like you could link it with like the ninjas, where you could have your magazines on the shelves or a Shopify account in the future where you could have products on the shelf and you purchase and it's directly posted to the customer. Like digital, I do understand that. I understand Stripe payments and all that kind of stuff. You could integrate Tilia, PayPal, all that good stuff and like just grow on that. Like each apartment has a different amount of units in it. Like each unit should be worth amount. Players should be able to build different unit spaces for structures instead of just like random assets. Like there's so much what could be pushed towards the properties. Like with XYO with a location. Maybe if you're in the same area as a property you own, you get a boost on your property earnings. Like there's lots of stuff I know Upland's like miles ahead of me. It's not a moan. Like Upland's created the best property game in the world, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, why are we like taken away from the best thing? Like, it's like the core. It's what excites me, and it's what I see other people like get excited about. Then once you mention like everything else, and then like kind of with Track Hero and all this stuff, then it becomes more like Sandbox again. It becomes more like Roblox and yeah, the average age in Upland, I believe, is like 30, 35, like mid 30s. Like it's not like a bunch of 16-year-olds. You should be able to have a chat without like the filters on it. You should be able to have like proper business chats, have like graphs, be able to see which node is performing, which neighborhood's better, heat maps, like be able to see prices in certain areas, like turn it into a virtual like real estate game where you've actually got like real estate agents, so you've got all that data there like for the virtual world instead of for like the real world. Like there's so much you could even charge like $5 a month, $10 a month to like as a premium feature. You'd have 1,000 people signing up for that straight away. Then you just sell Sparklet on the side. There's so much compared to like buying a racing car or something like that. Like I just don't see I see a very small niche of players will come in to buy virtual property and like grow a virtual portfolio. Like those type of people I just don't see are into like racing or into track hero. I just think it's two completely different audiences. But I understand like the need to like evolve and go into different directions. But yeah, this property stuff, this is what I'm gambling on next year. This is why I'm going to be putting in like all my monthly yield into Granada Hills going forward. Like literally every single property on the secondary market, I'm going to continue to buy up. Then same with dollars at the end of the month, and then also with a Spark. I'll get it up to 50,000, and I'm just going to continue to build in Granada Hills and just keep it like really locked into the node. And then once like more kind of Q1, Q2, these updates on the roadmap should be really exciting, and just see the direction it goes with next year, and then we can base off the investment off like the kind of path that they're going in based on everything what's happening, because it's not financial advice, but I'm not just putting it in for like money in for the sake of it. It's got to have a reason, and there's got to be a journey, and it's got to like make sense. Yeah, I'd really try to like just keep an eye on the markets and follow the markets and document the markets. But let's be honest, this was a documentation of the progress. We'll go through good times, we'll go through bad times and stuff like that. I see the account getting up, like we'll get up to 600,000 monthly yield probably by the end of the month, like maybe a little bit longer, depending if we buy the Sparklet this month. The price right now, it's probably more like sensible to buy the Sparklet, and then like next month push this up to like this will probably grow about 10, 15,000 a month just by itself. So I might put like $100, $200 into Granada Hills, and then buy up the Sparklet to 50,000, and then like the next month after that we can push this up to probably 600, 620,000. So yeah, I plan to continue to grow. I love the property side of the game. Like I want to be able to like grow on the property side of it, and yeah, everything else to me is like it's kind of off-putting. Like that's the thing, and like I'm saying this is the best advice. Like when we target people or like customers for sales, like I work B&Q selling bathrooms, kitchens now, designing all the kitchens and installing them. Like I'm not targeting people under 18. I'm not targeting people what wouldn't need a kitchen. Like the time and the resources and the money going into marketing is going towards people what are potentially going to buy a kitchen or a bathroom. And with this, I see like the target audience is virtual property real estate moguls, like what want to build a virtual business. Like they may be into gaming a little bit, but I believe like the majority of those people are not signed up for a metaverse, have signed up for a virtual property trading game. And it's great that you can have Sparklet and you can move assets about. That's a bonus on the property trading game. But I just think advertising it as a metaverse now is kind of gone. Like you had 3D movies, 3D was massive for a year. Like 3D's gone. I used to do video making. I used to want to like edit in 3D and like it was great. And but like the market's just gone. Like you used to have cinemas everywhere advertising 3D. Like and it's just not a thing anymore. You hardly see it ever. So there's a lot of technologies what go forward, and then just there's some technologies what just don't, or something else comes out or evolves, or slow motion or whatever it is, something else will come out in the same kind of field or close to the same field. And I see Upland striving. I see like the property side of this game doing amazing. I see them making 10 times more money for themselves and for like kind of every other one in the game by just like kind of going more towards the property side of it. Because if the taxes go up, if assets sell for more money, that 5% makes more money. Same for like Tycoon and Layer 2s as well. Like when energy was selling for 1,000 UPX, 5% is 50 UPX. That 50 UPX, even if you're only getting 25% of that as a buyback or so, you're getting what, 12.5 cents? So even that, like having the energy prices high, it's like beneficial for the creators. So same with the assets. If people are selling like assets at $10 and like 30, 40,000 UPX instead of like $1, $2, $3, 10,000 UPX, there's more money in that as well. So the best like I see like raising the prices and raising like everything in the game, like this supply. I'd rather have like a stable market over a massive supply of city releases and like all this new stuff. Like it'll be nice to see a city release about 20,000, like a bigger plots for like less price, like each property is a little bit cheaper. Maybe not like a tier one, maybe like a tier three, with like enough properties to try and like kind of because I see more demand now that the lock's coming in. So I see the secondary going up, but I do see a lot more demand going to those properties because right now you can buy like obviously a unminted property for like 100% technically with no tax. But like players are moaning about the lock and stuff like that. You can still buy a property in LA for like 87% markup. So you pay the 5% on it, so 92%. So you're still able right now after the lock to buy a property under mint. So like why are those properties still there right now if it was such a bad idea to lock them? It just shows that the supply and the demand needed fixed. It's like so like to me I just bang my head against the wall, think I'm going mad. But like it's so obvious to me where the supply and demand is, and like that 300,000 on mintage just well too high. And you can see how many properties are getting minted out, and you can see how long that's going to take compared to now. You can actually like raise the prices, people sell for more money. As soon as a few players sell for like 100% or 120% in dollars, they talk about that, they film that, they upload that, and then the next person's seen that, and then they jump in. Like once people can start making money, like eBay, like or these other apps, these other websites, if you've got an economy where you know that you can go on and if you do well, you can make money. Like I used to wrap my products up, I used to make sure I sent it away as soon as possible to get that rating. I'm more than happy to like work really hard to build and like earn money, but there needs to be that cap on the supply and demand. There needs to be a reason to want to continue to, because there needs to be like a return in the future. And I think that's where the metaverse just confuses it all. And this is nothing like against Upland. I understand like businesses, I might not know anything financially and other stuff, but yeah, I just see the drift into the metaverse is kind of like I don't know. I don't think it. I think doesn't promote like kind of. I think it does more like harm than good. I think like the property virtual trading game and being able to sign up with an email and a password and being able to just pay for stuff with your bank account, it's so like what's the word, convenient. It's great. Like you can like add a little competition in neighborhoods. You can like see other players. I'd love to see other players like stats in the game, like kind of the near you in the game or like stuff like that. Just more like immersive with players. But and then I see cafes. It would be cool if you had like a business room where you could actually go in and like certain members of a node, like you get the chat for like Granada Hills. Like if you had a cafe or something, if you was a member, you could come in and then you could discuss like plans for the nodes and the neighborhoods. Just yeah, I see like all this stuff working nicely with tied in, but I just see it like packaged as a virtual property trading game over like metaverse or crypto. Like those words need to stay away from the customer when they're about to like download the app, I believe, because you lose more players than you'll gain. And yeah, I don't want it just to be like everyone jumps in for a few months and just drives the price up and then everyone cashes out. And then like I want something where you can actually build long-term business and a brand and have something for life. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to kind of talk about today because I'm going to continue to put in this like money going forward, but it might be more targeted towards Granada Hills and like the property side of it, and then like I'll kind of hold back and see what happens in like Q2 next year. But we'll definitely get up to like the 50,000 Sparklet and then push the account up. I really want to continue like pushing this net worth up, pushing the monthly yield up. I find it so exciting, I really do, and that's why I've made this video because like I want the best for Upland. Like I think the team behind it works very hard. I think they've got so much kind of work they do. Like I think like the way they handle the community is amazing. Like everybody moans and they deal with it. You know what I mean? Even Mark getting put on the naughty step. It's like it is what it is. I think like Upland's like amazing as a company. Like I think how you can actually speak to the founders. I think like it's great. X1's do killing it. Like amazing. I just think like the whole kind of vision for this metaverse, like cryptos, kind of puts a lot of people off, and you need to consider that as well because the best thing what got me into the game straight away was being able to see like a player like Loyal Doyle. These players what used to be in the game what was like business orientated, like they was like focused on building a portfolio and being able to like see where they could go in a metaverse and be able to earn in the metaverse, and that's really exciting to me. Driving around with my friends is not what like I plan to do. It's like poker. I'd sign on for a few hours on a Saturday night, but like I want to be on Upland every single day. Like I was on Upland more back in the day on the property side of it when the markets was strong because you used to buy for 120%, sell for 140. There was strategy. Everyone was competing to get the properties. City releases was fast. It was great. And now it's kind of like let's try and outbid each other to the floor. And yeah, it's just like if you want to put money into something, there needs to be like a viable exit in the future, or at least like something what makes sense. Yeah, it's not financial advice, but yeah, that's my thinking behind it. And that I love Upland. I think it's got great kind of potential in the future. I think the community is amazing behind it, but I think like a really strong push on advertising it as a property virtual trading game, and like showing like normal players like buying properties and showing the friends of properties. I think that's how you like advertise it, and it's obviously a market of probably average of 30, 35. So target it to that instead of like 18. I think like the audience is a little bit older than what the even like the like the skins, like the smiley faces, and like I just feel like if you're gonna put a lot of money into something like Upland, the last thing you want to do is see like a smiley face with it's like it sticks its tongue out at you. I want like am I going mad, or like do I want to put in like what? I've put in like what 15,000 or something right now, and I want to push out to 25,000. The reason I'm doing that is because I was getting everything about 25% on average. Some stuff a little bit more expensive, some stuff cheaper. So my $25,000 was equivalent to $100,000 back in the day. So I could get myself up to like that really strong 1 million UPEX monthly yield and 100,000 Sparklet, and that's the plan. That was the plan from day one. Growing Granada Hills, like obviously, is along the way for pretty much 90% of my journey on Upland. And yeah, I continue. I want to do that. I'm excited about that, but I can't just sit back. I was watching a few of the metaverse like documentaries earlier, and I just like it got me thinking. Like layer twos will strive. I'm really excited for Next World and Tycoon and everything like that. But more players will come in based on it being a property trading game. Like it's so simple, and Monopoly. Like it's not simple as in gameplay, but it's so simple to understand or explain what it actually is. And once you start saying metaverse and stuff, I think people just start like grinning at you, like they see the headsets and like yeah, I think people are spending less time on the phones, if anything. Now I think Facebook and all that's shown you that you don't want to be like kind of locked away in your room. I don't want to encourage people to be on like apps more than like I don't want people to be living in the metaverse thinking that's reality. Like, I want players to earn money and blend their virtual business into their real life business. I want players to be able to sell, like, the merch, like the Ninja Box. I'll be able to sell my own METAVERSEMILLEN hoodies and stuff like that. I want Upland to create value for players and economy for players. Like, that's what I want. Like, I don't. I love the players, what love the racing and all the other stuff in the game. I do. Like, it's nothing. But for the mass audience, like there's a lot of stuff that I don't want, but I see it as like something what will drive a lot of mass into the game. And like if I'm not thinking about myself and my own personal growth, kind of like Granada Hills, I'll always prioritize. I want like the most player base in the game. And I think like your day to day average player is a player what comes into Upland and wants to spend that money. Kinda, I know so many people will put like 100 quid each week into like gambling and other stuff and like other games and apps. Like I know so many people will put in a lot of money into different apps and games. And at the start when it was a property trading game, like a few of my friends like kind of signed up, played it, was like excited talking about it, understood what it was. Now it's kind of like there's just so much going on that I think that's taken away from the property trading aspect of the game, which is like what sells Upland. Like it's the best. It's completely like mind blowing, that idea, and like they've made the best kind of thing I've ever been looking for. I don't need anything else. I don't want it to go. I don't want all this other stuff. I just want the focus to be on that and to grow that up. And like I don't need new shiny things. Like I'm happy with the Sparklet now. I'm happy with the assets, the structures. Like I want to see more ways to use those. So I'd love to see like different like units inside the apartments. I'd love to see graphs based on how much stuff costs and all that kind of good stuff. How much sparks in a neighborhood? How much like kind of utility? Do these structures need to be repaired in the future? Like, is there going to be roads, lampposts? Like, a car's going to be able to drive on the actual roads, not just on racetracks? Like, there's so much exciting. Like, I would love to be able to drive to my say Infinity Motors and pick up an asset and then drive back to like just to have that driving feature based on the roads in like Upland would be amazing. Like it's not, is it gonna be something in the future? Like is that kind of where they're going with it? Like it'd be nice just to see kind of, or is it gonna be like more just like track heroes and basketball games and shooting games? Because I want to see like where the idea and the vision behind this actual layer one is. Like, if they're not going to go that way, fair enough. Just let me know. Is that not like kind of the plan for the future to update the roads and like driving around the normal map like away from racing? Like, I just want to know kind of where the vision is a bit more than the roadmap going forward, and I think that would be great. I think that would like kind of make a lot of players happy in the game, being able to like understand like, because right now it's a little bit confusing what it is, and I want to be able to explain it. Even maybe I'm wrong, and this is just my opinion. I just want to see where it'll go, but I do strongly believe like the players will come in are like really tied to the monopoly aspect and to like they're happy to put money in, but they need to understand what they're putting money into and like the markets and is your property value gone up? Like you've got the appraiser on UPX land, maybe something in game where, yeah, your property is now worth 4% more than it was. Like just that kind of idea. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. I like kind of just wanted to get on and talk about everything. I do plan to continue to push up Granada Hills and like invest into Upland going forward. But yeah, I want like more players to come onto this, and I don't want it just to be based on if there's a crypto boom. I think that's so disrespectful for the property virtual trading game Upland is. Just to tie it with like a crypto token like Sparklet, and then like it's based on if like the token goes up or not. I just think that's all that hard work and that value in building structures is just goes to if someone's got more money than me, like, and I'm not into that. That's why I'd have got into like other cryptos if I wanted to go down that line. I like Upland because it's stable, like it's a token. That token you could buy technically 1,000 for $1 in the store, or you could go to the secondary and get yourself a lower markup like 25-30%. So that's totally up to you. It's like you understand it, it makes sense. That's always going to be tied. So if the markets go up to 50%, you're getting like 50% of the value, and it makes sense. You understand it. I would hate if this kind of went up and down based on like the external exchanges and stuff like that. It'll just be a Decentraland, or it'll just be like a sandbox with like what did they get? Less than 100 daily users for the last pretty much like 6-7 months through 2024. So yeah, like that's what crypto games are. Like they're not very fun. They're not appealing, and they're not gonna players aren't gonna flock to them in the future. Like sorry, but they're just not. It's too like I understand it for like teenagers and for like 12, 13 year olds and like maybe a 14-year-old. But like when you're talking about average age of a player is 35, like I don't want to be trying like different clothes and skins on. Like I want to be building a virtual portfolio and like being able to build a business and a brand like eBay. Like that's kind of my side of it, and that's what I think will really drive a lot of players into the game. Like millions will come onto the game if it was a proper virtual trading game. Like that's where the market is, I believe. But yeah, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for the support. I'll be back tomorrow for another video. Metaverse Melon, peace.